Looking at post, Reeves. Wembanyama fires to Paul. He got it on a three.
9 shots in the paint are inside of 3, 9 shots outside of 3. The only thing that's missing is the free throw attempts.
And a nice screen there from Wemby.
Undersized, playing small because of the injury to Chet and Isaiah.
Last season, Oklahoma City was #1 in three-point percentage. Chris Paul will put in a 3. Chris Paul at the controls. Dort was on him. Now they put Jones. And a 3 by Paul. Another one. 3 threes tonight for Chris. Screen by Collins. Jones there. Paul the 3.
Oh, man.
Chris Paul has really got the stroke going from distance tonight. Chris Paul's on top. Caruso's on him. Shot clock at 6. Paul making a move. Caruso with the defensive stand. The bump. The lean. Fires a long shot. Oh!
Utah Forward Stores to the Utah Food Bank, making a local difference that's built Ford proud.
See, that's Lowry's first bucket since a 6-point first quarter. Chris Paul answers straight away with a 3-ball. Lack of possession, second chance opportunity. Paul dribbles that off his back of his ankle, puts it up and in. Wow.
Still got it, Bowler.
He's inventing things that we haven't seen statistically. Shot clock at 6. Paul over Lively 3. Wow.
What a time to get your first basket. And we're in a one-possession game here.
You get gas pretty quickly.
Houston wants to play fast, though. CP3. Why not for free?
Condensed on that long rebound, floats right back out to the Rockets.
CP3 responds from downtown. A game-high 18 points. Chris Paul puts it in and responds.
Go! He hit it, and Tari Eason fouled him. Got into his landing space.
Collects the bounce pass here. Got Wembanyama off his feet. Throws it up for himself, but Sohan broke it up. That would have brought the house down had that worked. Paul drills a 3, and San Antonio back within 13.
Once Victor went for that head fake and got past him, it's exactly what Chet wanted to do. We've seen him do it before multiple times since he's been in the league already.
And how about Chris Paul? Consecutive 3s for the 20-year veteran. 15 of 29. Meanwhile, San Antonio 5 of 21.
That's really an incredible number because you think about the number of guys now in the league, Dave, that are making step-back 3s. That's a huge part.
Quick enough to get it to Eubanks for the slam.
Will Hardy, help coach Eubanks in San Antonio as well as Chris Paul knocks down a triple.
Some kind of run.
Wemby, no look pass to Paul.
Colin Sexton short on the first 2. Wasn't about to let it happen on that one.
Paul feels it. Back-to-back 3s.
Rudy Gobert just too big for any other defender besides Victor to guard him.
Chris Paul pulling up and hitting a 3, and the Spurs take the lead. Barnes and McDaniels. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Back to Chris Paul. He fires a 3, and he puts it in, and the Spurs take the lead. CP3 pull it up and putting in a 3.
Big shot.
Only 4 shots at the rim so far this year. He's taken 50 total shots coming in. 30 of them have been 3s. Exhibit A, and he's knocking them down. Right now, the Clippers cut it down to a 3-point game after trailing 40-14. Chris Paul answers in kind on Norman Powell's 3. It's 6.
He's probably going to block most of them, but keep going at the guy.
Yeah, that's a key for the Rockets. And Dillon Brooks felt like Chris Paul pulled him on the way to take that layup.
And then he pulled up and nailed the 3.
Threw it out to a spot where he knew he'd get to, and
All the Spurs were lifted.
Chris Paul.
Yeah, and Şengün shielded him off too. That was, a good move.
Chris Paul over Şengün. All of a sudden, Spurs are hot.
Paul firing a 3. He hits it for his first points tonight. Chris Paul. 5.4 seconds. CP3. Screen from Wemby. Paul pulling up 3. Oh, he put it in at the buzzer! CP3! 3 straight games in double figures for Steph Castle. 4th career start tonight. CP3 hit the 3 at the end of the first half. He continues. Chris Paul walking in. Cashing one from Trey Ball land.
Barnes operating off a screen by Collins. And the lane Harrison Barnes, it rims out. Punched by Collins right back to Barnes. For 3, Chris Paul on the first basket of the game. Shooting a 3 over San Antonio zone defense. Luka misses.
Zone.
Paul hits on a 3.
In the second quarter. Paul 3. Got it! 2 possession game. 2020 All-Star Weekend 3-point shooting champion. Wembanyama, the up fake, the handle, the dish. CP for 3.
There you go.
Paul in for 3. Almost came out, but it stayed in.
They run some elbow action with the big man. Chris Paul over Sabonis, and the lead is down to 3. 11 in the ball game, make it 14. Paul with a quick counter at the other end. Says, I'm going to the Hall of Fame soon. Back out to CP3. The 3-ball is wet.
Oh, Chris Paul, I mean, offensively has not even looked to be a huge factor.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of pressure off you when you start off the game getting 2 easy pop shots.
Castle takes the contact, still drives it, kicks it out. Paul 3. Got it! CP for 3. Sohan pirouettes, left hand no good. Trying to fight for it, ball still on the ground. Paul's there as well. Steps back for 3. Oh! Paul with the effort.
Yeah.
Paul puts in the response. Paul just needs 2 rebounds for a triple-double. Paul, mid-range in and out. Zach Collins there on the offensive glass. Sohan moves it. Paul fires, and he drills a 3.
Those guys want more dunks. Turning it up on the defensive end.
Paul drilling a 3 right in the Rook's face. Paul guarded by Bogey. Rises up and cans it. He says, finally.
Sucks in our jerseys, and there's Jalen Johnson all by himself.
Paul tied it, and a foul. Paul rises and scores. Uncle Chris.
Only in the second season, but really showing you a lot of flashes.
Paul got it. Clutch against the Hawks. And he came off the bench. Since November 7th, he's been unreal. Paul left all alone.
That's Jeremy's basket, but he just mishandled the pass.
Sixers shooting woes continue. 11 of 33 from the field.
Paul for 3. Veteran on veteran here. Shot clock at 4. CP3 pulls up.
Here's Paul's pull-up 3. He got it.
No stranger to Christmas Day, of course, Chris Paul.
Here comes Jones off to Paul. Paul says, all right, I'll take it. Connecting.
That's a layup for Chris. I see that young man work so much, and he'll probably...
Here's Paul. Spurs need something. Paul gives it to him.
The Clippers shooting 33% from the field. Paul pulling up, and money for 3.
26 now for the Serbian big man. Nuggets have made 7 in a row, but the Spurs keep answering.
You want to play me one-on-one at the camps.
Vucevic. Off target, Buzelis and Paul.
It is Chris Paul, and he stops and pops a three. Giddey on to Paul. There's the Bassey screen. Paul into a three.
Told you. They're going to run that to death.
Currently riding a 15-0 run. Wemby with the handoff. The Spurs have missed their last 9 shots. Here's Chris Paul trying to set his feet. That ends a drought for San Antonio.
Deflection out of bounds, make the Spurs have to reset.
3 seconds to shoot. Paul pulls the trigger and hits.
Giving up the body.
Sell the three-pointer, and there's again the length to keep this alive. Wemby over to Chris Paul, knocks down the three-pointer.
One of those plays, Dame Lillard trying to draw a foul on contact, trying to draw a shooting foul, but it just hasn't been called this season.
Oh, 4 for 4.
Yeah. All right, now this is an interesting part of the game. See?
We've seen the Bucks relinquish large leads before.
Barnes again having maybe his best shooting year of his career. Now CP3 from the outside nails a three. Sohan in the corner. That hair went from green last year to pink this year. CP from the outside. He's got it.
Again, Wemby giving him too much space.
Chris Paul for three. It settles in. A little bit out of control right now, the Spurs, but they've got the lead by 3. Chris Paul.
No, they got the lead by 6.
He wins it.
Those two big guys trying to go at each other.
Paul got a three in a 7-footer's face.
Barnes and Jones ready to check in for San Antonio. If you're just joining us, Memphis playing without Ja Morant. Out with a foot injury. Here's Chris Paul for 3.
Now you got to have the right personnel to do that with.
Chris Paul drills the 3.
Robinson has made 5 of his 7 threes.
Yeah, he is comfortable on that right wing. He's been able to get some really good looks generated there. CP3 able to convert.
7 feet 3. Check out his hand. CP3.
If he can get comfortable, he gets a lot of those. He tends to put the ball down on the deck, and the defense closes to him. Good drive and kick by Tyler Hero to create.
Chris Paul drills a 3.
Pacers by 4. Wembanyama out to Paul. His 3 on the way. Good.
Offensive rebound, 7 seconds.
Oh, Sham God between the leg dribble. Wembanyama blocked by Turner.
Miles Turner was prepared for all the action on the perimeter.
Paul for 3.
In his home country for the first time as a Spur.
Shot clock winding down. Chris Paul.
All tied up at 17, approaching 5 minutes remaining first quarter. Paul got it, snap in the net for 3. No subs by either team. Early timeout by Milwaukee after the 9-2 Spurs start. Make it 12. Paul a 3. So Castle running the offense on this possession for San Antonio. Finds Paul. Point guard to point guard. CP for 3. And focus on the Heat. Rozier missing that time. He's had the hot hand in the first half for Miami. Paul left wide open. CP for 3. Zach Collins. They move it. Sohan. Paul fakes the pass and sticks it for his second triple of the night.
I like that move there by Gigi. Physical move to get the finish over Keldon Johnson.
Sohan, quick move to the bucket. Stymied there by Edey. A Chris Paul 3 is in.
Wallace getting ready to come into the ball game for the Hawks. Chris Paul off the rotation. That 3 ball is pure. Fox rejects the screen. Good pocket pass. Sohan. One more to CP3. And he knocks down the 3 ball. Timeout Hawks. And Wembanyama up to Fox. Spins out to Paul. Chris Paul for 3. Got it. And Chris Paul makes it a 7-point Spurs lead.
To be the go-to guy in recent games.
getting a chance to be the second banana with LaMelo Ball back out there. Chris Paul, there's his first 3 points of the game. T2 over his last 3 games. NSJ's got 13 right now. Back to back for Chris Paul.
CP working a little two-man, frees himself up. San Antonio, it's raining. CP to end the second quarter. Nothing but net for Chris Paul.
First points of the quarter for Tatum, who has 23. Paul's 3 is good.
A lot of questions. Would he go to the bench?
O'Neal ball fake. Booker. And the rebound grab by Fox in transition. Trying to add to this lead. Chris Paul got a 3.
Not sure they could play this lineup with Victor Wembanyama.
They have changed the De'Aaron Fox 2 to a 3. That is definitely a 3 for Chris Paul. And the Spurs go back in front. It's a 12-point game. We approach 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Biggest lead has been 16. Paul got it. Straight away, Trey.
Well, the cold weather, the connection there. It's cold in Detroit today.
But you know, in all reality, if Chris Paul, he's going to make this.
Yes.
Well, in all reality, that year.
De'Aaron Fox, he's got a crease. And a break. Looked like a turnover waiting to happen instead of 3.
And that's what Chris Paul is great at, shooting that 3.
So this is part of a 4-game road trip for the San Antonio Spurs. There's spacing in the corner, and Barnes sets it up beautifully for Chris Paul.
And that's a great job of Chris Paul, not standing and watching, but relocating to that corner.
Spacing for the corner 3. And a shot. Harrison Barnes actually missed from there. Chris Paul, though, tees it up.
He ain't gonna miss
got
that
it. He's got a wide open look. And that's a surprise. Vassell. And a break. But
usually the way it happens, Usually the way it happens, you end up giving up a 3.
And
there you go.
Chris Paul.
There you go.
57 seconds left. A 4-point game.
I think Sohan fell on Jaren's right leg as he went down.
And now Chris Paul, corner 3. He hits and ties the game at 10. Sohan wants it. Fox drives. Sets up Chris Paul. And he buries the 3. 10 threes for San Antonio here in the first half.
Well, guys, that's what Isaiah Hartenstein says he appreciates so much about SGA. He said, I didn't realize how unselfish he was. He said, look at the way he plays defense. He carries such a huge load offensively.
It's rushed. He's always incredibly poised. He makes the right play in the right read every single time.
Paul, 3 more.
Paul sets up shot. Paul's first bucket of the evening. Castle, another pass. Vassell cross court. Paul. That 3's good. Vassell. Paul fires. Paul hits.
You look at his post all-star numbers from beyond the arc. It's a bit absurd.
Yes. Chris Paul with the 3 ball.
Lots of movement. Got a great look. Didn't get the finish, but more of that.
High shot quality for the Kings. It's good shot quality for the Spurs. Chris Paul.
Finish that.
He played with Valanciunas when JB was a rookie in Toronto. CP3 from deep. Knocks it home.
Paul will give it right back as Barnes works baseline, spins between 2 defenders, lost it, got it back. Now out to Paul. 3 ball, left side, got it. Wow. Chris Paul drains the triple.
He's another guy that's got a lot of huge performances under his belt.
Paul responds and hits a 3. He's 37% this year from downtown. CP for 3.
All right, limiting the turnover, he's starting to make some shots.
Paul, 5 on the shot clock. CP3 against Martin. Stepping back and splashing. Shut off. Back out, CP3.
That was a great job scouting that play.
He's been red hot from downtown.
They've been a little late giving that ball up in the open court. And you can really impose your will on 2-on-1.
CP hits it anyways. Paul pulls up for three. Got it! Paul pulls up for three. Got it! Bridges, corner three. Barnes the rebound. Paul again.
Oh, hey, Chris.
CP for three. Fourth year in the NBA out of Houston. Paul quickly putting in a three. A deep one.
I'm assuming, so happy birthday, Fab.
Paul, three. Another triple.
Ola's been shooting them.
11 of 22 from three-point land tonight. That is 50%.
Take it.
Paul again, unconscious.
Good play, though. Just to pull it back against the defense. There's Chris again.
4 tray balls. Always what he does.
And look what happens when you do that. You get a wide open shot.
Barnes just couldn't put it down. Paul, another three. 5. Cinco. Drives, kicks out. Paul, other corner. That works. 6 threes for CP3.
Chris Paul, topside jumper, yes. And that's a triple for Paul.
Cavs 63, Spurs 58. Allen almost with a steal as he nearly took it away from Biyombo. Paul, watched carefully by Strus, steps back for a three.
They average 48 three-point attempts per game. They make 17 of them. Paul in his bag over Hauser.
Well, we've seen it before.
White out to Hauser, a three. Missed that time. Paul again! Barnes, former Warrior himself. Sochan keeps it alive. Chris Paul drills it. Tough to pick a favorite one he's had, right? I mean,
oh, yeah, it's hard.
Paul fires away and hits the three.
Rising, one pass by Jalen. Castle. Nuggets nearly had it, didn't get it. Chris Paul for three. That should be good, and it is. On 3 of 6 shooting, made a couple of threes. We're tied up at 95. Long range, that's good. Line for DeAndre Jordan. Same play, same result. You get stuck on a good screen. Biyombo's always been able to do that.
Paul bumped, wants it back.
Yeah, he's going to go hard here as he goes to the basket. He's going to mix up Mobley.
Three, good for Paul! There's life!
The rebound goes to Chris Paul. Paul might pull up for a quick three here. Indeed, he will. He's the master manipulator of the clock.
Yeah, you got a game. The Spurs did this to the Clippers last night. Took a double-double by Zubac as Chris Paul hits a three. Chris Paul has been running pick and roll for over 20 years. Drops in the three. CP3's got 8. Chris Paul's been through so many games. He's like, I don't know if the Warriors to have a run heading into halftime. He's going to launch a three himself. CP3 is 4 for 4.
That stops momentum. You know, I felt like the fans had just got into the game. We got a few turnovers in a row. Kind of become deflating when a guy like that gets down to the
Barnes out to Paul, who's got his 3rd bucket of the 3rd quarter.
9 on the offensive end and 3 block shots.
Yeah, and everything Tom just outlined and showed us there is great stuff. In addition to that, as Chris Paul makes a three,